Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we're gonna do this video because I was waiting for the day this drops, and we was waiting to see the official prices. And what this dude Gabe did was drop the pre-orders for the Steam machine along with these prices that look ridiculous, and it sold out immediately. And I understand why. People do reactions, unboxings, they do first impressions, they do a whole bunch of content with the console of choice. I did the same thing with many consoles before. We're just in a different time right now where I don't feel like it's necessary to buy this product as well as many other products, but we're going to get into that later. Before we actually get started though, I do want to say, forgive me for the lack of content that I've been putting on this channel. I don't want to make this a whole big thing and stuff like that. I'm dealing with it. You know, I'm trying to process it. So for those that know, I have my Shar-Pei pug, my little man. I got my dog Bruno. I started noticing he had like a little lump on the side, and at first it was like small, like a couple weeks ago, and then as we monitored it, it got a little bit bigger, and I'm like, oh. So I took him to the vet, and man, let me tell you something. The biggest scam in this world isn't the people that work there. They're wonderful people. It's the insurances, dude. So it was like an arm and a leg just to do that, and then they told me he has to go in. I got like 30 days to decide for like the surgery to do for him, and it's kind of like messing me up because the thoughts that I'm having of what could and what I may have to decide is like really just messing with me. So forgive me for the lack of content. We're still pushing through everything, and I was just with my little man right now, looking at him, seeing if he's eating his food and running around in the backyard and stuff like that, because he doesn't whimper, doesn't cry, doesn't anything. So it's kind of confusing, right? But I appreciate everybody, for the love y'all have been showing, and we're still trying to rock out strong. Just processing that. But let's talk about the Steam machine. I think talking about games and just talking about news and having you guys with me in this kind of like, journey, in this conversation, it helps me feel better. It gets my mind off of things. And this is kind of ridiculous. Like literally seeing the Steam machine at this price point wouldn't have been so bad, but when you look at these specs, this is giving me 2015 Best Buy, Target, Walmart pre-builds. They were scamming people with these pre-builds back in the days. If you get a pre-build compared to today, where it looks a little bit more fair in price, you would just get scammed because they'll give you like a 2080 or 2070 with like 8 gigs of RAM and like a 500 gig hard drive, and then they'll tell you like $1,500, and it's ridiculous. But this right here is telling you where we are at as a community, as a people, as gaming. It's bad, okay? Because the Steam machine, it runs off of like a Linux-based OS system, which is SteamOS, where you could download third-party apps. It's a computer in a console form, but everything that's in it doesn't make it or warrant the price. That's why I said watch before you buy, because if you don't know, you're gonna just assume, oh my God, Steam, I can play games with my friends. We can get things situated. I don't know everything, but I'm gonna just tell you things that I see here in front of me. This is crazy. The Steam machine base price is $1,049. You would think, okay, it's basically like a PC. It can download Discord and third-party apps. It runs the Steam games beautifully. What's the issue? It's the specs that are the issue. That is the issue, excuse me. And when you see these specs, I'm like, what are they thinking charging that alongside this? And let's get into it. The Steam machine has a CPU semi-custom AMD Zen 4, a GPU semi-custom AMD RDNA, I don't know how, Retina, I guess they call it. 16 gigs of DDR5, okay? DDR5 for the RAM, with an 8 gig GDDR6 VRAM card. So the AMD card is an 8 gig RAM. Don't know, if you don't know, right there off the bat, you're not running games at the highest quality. I'm letting y'all know. It doesn't matter how compatible it is. At the very least, you're going to be running games at like 1080 to like minimal 1440 with some settings being toggled. You will not be able to run this game, like most of your games, at 1440 if it's a stressful game. Also, want to go ahead and just eliminate this. You will not be able to stream using this Steam machine. This is just not possible. It's not going to be good. It's not going to give you the experience that you are desiring. Also, I don't even think it was built for that. It looks like it's built to be a secondary. You can use it as a PC, but it's literally built to be like a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. And in that case, I do want to say you're just immediately better off buying a PS6. I mean PS5 if I said 6. PS5 or an Xbox Series X. Yes, you're better off spending the money on that. I see Linus Tech Tips made a video. He has the Steam machine on hand and said it's actually being more compared to the PS5 base model, not even the Pro. So that tells you immediately that's an issue. Yes, it comes with Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.3 gigabyte Ethernet, integrated Steam controller wireless adapter, small form factor, 6-inch cube SteamOS 3. It's a very compact thing, and we'll put it on screen here. It is 512 gigabytes, y'all. Go ahead and process that. 512 gigabytes. We haven't seen that since the PS4. If that. 512 gigabytes. Not only that, this joint don't even come with a controller for the base model. So yes, you can plug in your DualSense. You could plug in your Xbox controller. You could use their DS tools that are already integrated into the Steam store if you have it already downloaded. But to drop a console/PC hybrid and not come with a controller is absolutely absurd. The only way you get this controller is if you get the 512 gig version with the controller that they're considering it as a bundle. Then it gets even worse. So when you look at the controller looks cool. The controller looks all right. I don't think I would ever use that for competitive gaming or for most shooters or whatnot. It seems very intuitive, honestly. It seemed like it could get you going with like web browsing because of the two pads, similar to like the Steam Deck. However, though they're calling it a bundle. I gotta mark this shit. They're calling it a bundle. They're calling it a bundle, y'all. And I just want to say, imagine dropping, I forgot who did it. Was it Nintendo who dropped one of their 3DSs without a charger? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we're going back to places like that. We're going back to where you drop current gen consoles with no headsets for people to use. At least with the PS4, it was laughable at first. But they dropped the PS4, remember, back in 2013, and it came with like one headphone, like connect to your controller. But like, this is absurd. This is absurd. Then they have a 2 terabyte model. The 2 terabyte model, nothing actually changes but the fact that it's a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD micro SD card slot. And that is going for $1,349. Let me go back real quick. The 512 gigabyte with controller is $1,128. So it's nearly $90 for the controller added. The 2 terabyte for $1,349 doesn't even come with a controller. It comes with extra fabric, extra faceplate, red fabric and solid walnut for you to put like in front as a faceplate. That's what it comes with. Same OS, same features, same RAM, same graphics card and CPU. Then they got that being bundled with a controller for $1,428. This right here blows my mind. And I was close to getting the base model because I figured, you know what? I want to show you guys if it's worth it or whatnot. However, I don't even want to support this. This is going to be the first time I don't support a console or PC that comes out in this market because it's actually ridiculous. We are in a place right now where we are dropping consoles. And I just want to be completely honest. I said it earlier. This is the best year we've ever had since COVID for video games. Whether you're talking about indies, the independent studios, we're talking about games from companies we've been waiting for them to drop. Yes, I know we've gotten no real updated games or anything from like Naughty Dog or whatnot, but there's still been bangers from so many different companies. GTA 6 is right around the corner. This is possibly the best year we've had. And the reason why, people getting fired, money, tariffs, everything happening since COVID, which delayed everybody. The whole world changed when COVID happened. That's really what it was, to the point where everything we're seeing now could have possibly came out a couple of years ago, but the world had a shutdown. This right here is absolutely crazy to think that years later, we are seeing some of the best games hit the consoles finally, because the PS5 and Xbox Series X felt like it was a little dry. Let's stop putting 2K, Call of Duty, Overwatch, and all these other games, even not Arc Raiders, because that just came out a couple years ago. But all these games that are like yearly releases that actually help out the consoles and keep people playing games, we're not counting those. When we talk about brand new IPs, and just even if we're getting some sequels that are just big juggernaut titles, this year is the best year for that. Then I felt like a year, 2 years ago when I bought the PS5 Pro, I said, you know what? Let's try out some of the games on enhanced, let's see how it works. And all of a sudden you hear today with tariffs and everything, every console has got a speed bump. It has got a price jump. They've been nerfed. They patched the prices. You got PS5s that are no longer $499 or $349. They're like $600, $700. PS5 Pros is like $900. Xbox Series X's are like $700 to $800. And people are currently paying those prices with no games. Finally, this year, the games have arrived. The Nintendo Switch is getting expensive. So to see a Steam machine coming in with this price, this is absolutely the most novelist, most like amateur console based thing you can ever buy. This is worse than a lot of PC pre-builds. This joint don't even come with a keyboard mouse for you at all. Don't even come with that. I don't know how accurate this is. It says 4K gaming at 60 FPS with FSR thanks to the discrete semi-custom AMD desktop class CPU and GPU. 4K gaming. What they don't tell you is when you got like a lot of innocent people out there that's looking for a budget. One, this thing looks like a half a size of the Series X. It's very cute. You can put it anywhere. But what they don't tell you is when they say things like, hell, you can run gaming, you got 4K game. You know what we talking about when we say 4K game. I'm talking about maxing out my settings. I want this joint to look realistic. You're not maxing out no games at 4K 60. It don't matter what technology they got in there. Because if that was the case, I would have had 4 PCs already in my office with these specs and would have paid less than $1,000. I mean, obviously, current times today, the RAM sticks and everything going on is ridiculous. And right before RAM prices became a thing, Valve was already about to charge you a fucking your whole paycheck for this machine. Let's keep it a bean. Had it not been the case that RAM and all this would have happened, they would have been announced their prices. But RAM even made it worse. So yeah, I don't believe that you can game at 4K 60 just like with no issues. You're gonna have to compromise a lot of settings to get that going. Now, I do want to check out some unboxings and we're going to react to a little bit of it. Not too much, but I want to see what's going on with this, what they're comparing it to. But it's absolutely crazy. But to avoid all copyright, I will be kind of like blurring the lines between the content because, again, I don't own that content. I don't want to get in trouble for it. You guys can hit the link in the description for the full video itself. All right, so let's check out this part right here. Linus did react to the price and he didn't seem as pleased about it. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna sit here and say it's a fair price. Just the market right now, everything is expensive. So at your own discretion, like if you feel like it's worth it, it's super dope. It's cute as hell. I'm not gonna lie, this small, and they're allowing people to download their own like faceplate things to create models and stuff like that. So I already know with my 3D printer, if I were to ever get one, I would do so. Or for people on Etsy, for people on other websites, they're gonna definitely create some dope models and some skins for this as well. So maybe some like shells to just throw right over it with compact airflows and stuff like that. So again, you got fun with it as far as the aesthetic pleasing part. But as far as gaming, man, I don't think y'all gonna get the experience you guys are expecting. So let's check this out.
So FSR quality, let's apply that. That gets us right around 60 FPS. GPU usage is sitting at around 80%, so there's not a lot.
There's not a lot of room. Yeah, there's not a lot of room here.
Some immediate graphical challenges with respect to texture quality, objects just kind of popping in. Some of this I expect to get better over time, but some of it is just going to be a function of the Steam machine is not a super powerful machine.
Oh man.
It's more supposed to be about just the seamlessness of the experience. So when you're playing a very demanding game like Expedition 33, yeah, you're gonna run into some of this. See what I'm talking about here? There you go. So all your ground cover is just...
Oh man. And here's the thing, I'm a person who stuff like that bothers me. I think for anybody, for anyone who hasn't had a PC, who has, or even myself, like if I'm gifted this, I'm not complaining. But when you start spending a lot of money on these type of things, I think anybody who doesn't currently have a PC right now isn't really going to be complaining as much. But once you get your experience down pat, you're going to start wanting more. Remember, it even comes into place with your monitors. your HDMI cables, your display ports. You're gonna start looking at things very different. I'm telling you right now, everybody in my comment section, you made it this far, you guys can go ahead and vouch. When you get into PC gaming, it's not just about the PC parts now. You're looking at keyboards, mouses, what type of display you have, your cables, your wires, because I used to throw any HDMI cable not knowing that a lot of it was affecting my resolution, my frame rate, because of the pass-throughs with Elgato. There was just so much shit going on, y'all.
Just the draw distance.
Yeah, the draw distance look crazy. I know I'm kind of like blurring it a little bit because I just don't want to catch a strike, man, like before.
Also, we have run into some oddities.
Let me go back.
Ultra? I don't know what that means exactly. Oddities?
Wait, what?
Also, we have...
So, the scaling mode, quality, unlimited frames. Yeah, screen resolution says ultra. I don't know what that means.
Some oddities? Screen resolution ultra? I don't know what that means exactly. But fire up something lighter, and obviously the performance is not
of course
nearly as much of a concern. I'm currently getting
hey, what hockey game is that?
In this 2.5D hockey game. We're going to be talking way more in depth about performance, looking at desktop mode, getting into thermals and acoustics in the full LTT review. Make sure you check that out over on the Linus Tech Tips channel.
Yeah, so seeing that the cheapest Steam machine is that price, like granted, it's everything you want in such a small, compact, like handheld, like not handheld, but like machine. And so that price point, it can seem like it's fair, but when you're trying to be in the market right now where tariffs and all these prices are kind of getting ridiculous, and you're trying to like game at a certain quality, I don't know if it's going to beat the quality. I don't think that price point beats quality. I think because of the size, the lack of not having so much brick cables and stuff like that is what's going to try to market this. But in my opinion, I feel like you're better off just waiting. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you feel like this Steam machine is worth the price? Are you new to PC gaming? Are you already like understanding everything about PC gaming and console gaming? Let me know your thoughts. I'm out of here. God bless everybody. Peace.